Selamat datang di Hadi Hartono Corner. Saya yakin banyak dari kita tidak sepenuhnya memahami dampak kolonialisme di Indonesia. Selama lebih dari 3 abad, perusahaan Hindia Timur Belanda, diikuti oleh pemerintah Belanda, menguasai kepulauan Indonesia. Masa kolonial ini, meskipun secara resmi berakhir pada tahun 1949, meninggalkan luka mendalam pada struktur sosial dan dinamika kekuasaan bangsa. Sistem kolonial Belanda dibangun di atas eksploitasi. Mereka lebih mementingkan pengambilan sumber daya daripada kesejahteraan rakyat Indonesia. Sistem ini menciptakan hierarki, menempatkan Belanda di puncak, diikuti oleh sekelompok kecil elit Indonesia yang diuntungkan karena bekerja sama dengan pemerintahan kolonial. Elit ini seringkali berasal dari kalangan bangsawan atau dipilih karena kesetiaan mereka, diberikan hak istimewa dan akses ke kekuasaan. Mereka bertindak sebagai perantara antara penguasa Belanda dan rakyat Indonesia. Hal ini menciptakan sistem di mana kekuasaan terkonsentrasi di tangan segelintir orang, sementara mayoritas tetap terpinggirkan dan tidak dilibatkan dalam pengambilan keputusan. Warisan kolonialisme ini terus memberikan bayangan panjang di atas Indonesia hingga hari ini. Memahami sejarah ini sangat penting untuk memahami tantangan yang dihadapi Indonesia dalam mengejar masyarakat yang lebih adil dan setara. Perjuangan untuk kemerdekaan sejati, yang bebas dari belenggu masa lalu, masih berlanjut. Belanda menanamkan sistem yang dirancang untuk menguntungkan mereka sendiri, bukan rakyat yang mereka kuasai. Mereka mengendalikan ekonomi, menentukan apa yang harus ditanam oleh petani, dan mengambil kekayaan besar dari kepulauan ini. Eksploitasi ini meninggalkan warisan kemiskinan dan keterbelakangan yang masih dihadapi Indonesia hingga saat ini. Dampak dari sistem ini masih terasa hingga sekarang, menyoroti pengaruh kolonialisme yang terus bertahan pada lanskap sosial dan ekonomi Indonesia. The Dutch colonial system deliberately created divisions within Indonesian society. By empowering a select group of Indonesian elites, the Dutch ensured the continuation of their rule. These elites, often from aristocratic families or those who had proven their loyalty to the colonial administration, were granted privileges and access to education, land ownership, and positions of power. This created a stark contrast with the majority of Indonesians who were denied these opportunities. This strategy of divide and rule had a devastating impact on Indonesian society. It created a deep chasm between the privileged few and the marginalized masses. This disparity was evident in all aspects of life, from access to education and healthcare to economic opportunities and political representation. The legacy of this division is still felt today. The colonial system's emphasis on favoring certain groups created a blueprint for inequality that persists in modern Indonesia. This legacy of elitism continues to shape the nation's political and economic landscape. It is a stark reminder of the urgent need to dismantle these structures and create a more inclusive society for all Indonesians. While Indonesia fought hard for its independence, the struggle to dismantle these deeply entrenched systems of inequality continues. The fight for a fairer and more equitable Indonesia requires recognizing and addressing the roots of these problems. The end of Dutch colonial rule in 1949 brought hope for a new era of independence and equality. However, the transition to independence did not erase the deep-seated inequalities ingrained within Indonesian society. The power structures that benefited a select few during the colonial era were not dismantled. Instead, they were often adopted and adapted by the new Indonesian elite, who took control after independence. This continuity of power structures is a key factor in understanding the challenges Indonesia faces today. While the faces in power may have changed, the systems and networks that maintain inequality have persisted. This has led to a concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few, often referred to as oligarchs. These individuals and families exert significant influence over the country's political and economic systems, often at the expense of the majority. The transition from colonialism to independence was a time of both hope and upheaval. While Indonesia had finally broken free from the shackles of colonial rule, the struggle to establish a truly equitable and just society was far from over. The rise of oligarchic structures in the post-independence era highlights the challenges of breaking free from the legacy of colonialism. It underscores the need for systemic change to dismantle these entrenched power structures and create a more level playing field for all Indonesians. One of the defining characteristics of post-colonial Indonesia is the intricate relationship between business and politics. This relationship, often characterized by patronage and collusion, has had a profound impact on the country's development trajectory. In many cases, political power is used to secure economic advantages, while business elites often utilize their wealth to influence political decisions. This creates a vicious cycle, where those in power prioritize personal gain and the interests of a select few over the needs of the wider population. This system of patronage extends beyond the highest levels of government. It permeates various layers of society, creating networks of influence and dependency that often disadvantage those who are not part of these networks. This blurring of lines between business and politics has serious consequences for transparency and accountability. It creates an environment where corruption can thrive, and where those in power are less likely to be held accountable for their actions. This lack of accountability further exacerbates inequality and undermines trust in government institutions. Breaking this cycle of patronage and collusion is crucial for Indonesia's future. Fostering a culture of transparency, accountability, and meritocracy is essential to ensure that the country's political and economic systems serve the interests of all Indonesians, not just a privileged few.